step, step, throw. Step, step, throw. That's a huge deal in your golf swing. So I've had the opportunity here over the last year, even a little more of that, I've been injured. So I've had a hip replaced, a knee replaced. I've been about 9 or 10 months since I've hit a ball on a golf course. I've been over 6 months since I've hit a ball. So what we're going to do here is we're going to revisit how I learned golf and help you learn golf instinctively. This is all about instincts that you already know. Before you're 4, 5, 6 years old, you've learned the basic skills you need to play almost any sport. Hit, throw, catch, and kick. It's just how do you apply them? So I started doing these, and what we're going to do is revisit how I learned. Now, here's what's interesting. Back in the 80s, Pete Agasio and myself put together a program for the PGA called the Swing Game. It basically developed golf swings this same way I'm doing it here. This is why I got really good really fast, because it was instinct. It was athleticism. Then all of a sudden we come to this game and it starts to get into all these positions and everything because the ball's sitting still. So then you lose your instincts and you lose your athleticism. I mean, one of the biggest reasons that people struggle with golf is because there's no step, okay? When you start stepping and throwing, and we're going to talk about this, if you watch what happens, step, step, throw. Well, that's step, step, hit. And what you need to do is you step first to learn how to do it. And then very gradually, I'm going to slow down the amount that I step, but I'm still stepping. So when I'm sitting here hitting a golf ball, I'm still step, step, throw. But my feet are fairly still. That assumes a high level of control to leave your feet in the same spot and change directions correctly, which this is going to teach you. Now we're sitting here in my backyard, my driveway. We're going to be building a casita back there and a studio for Malaska Golf. You know, but this is all something you can do right here in your backyard. You can learn and redevelop your own golf swing instinctively with just some basic skills and tasks. And I promise you, it's going to be a lot better than what all these people are trying to get you to do, because most of what they're trying to get you to do, it's not the cause, it's an effect. You need to find out what the causes are. Why isn't the club doing what it's supposed to do? Not force it to do something. Why is it not doing it? Because it should. It'll do it in all these other sports. So once you watch this, you're going to get so much better because you're going to understand your own athleticism in the game. It'll be a lot more fun. So relative to golf, this is critical. Now, I just had hip and knee replaced. So I've been doing this for about a week, 2 weeks, where I come out. Now, you can do this with a rebounder. You can do it with a tennis ball off the wall. But all I'm doing here is I'm just tossing the ball into the net. Now, see, I'm just using my wrist. See, I'm just doing this. So I'm revisiting throw. Now, when I'm doing that, you see how loose my wrist is. Okay, so when I'm doing that, when I'm throwing this, if you ask me, what do my hands feel like? I'd say, well, my hands feel like they're real quiet, but they're moving. They're moving because they're reacting to the weight of this. And that lever system, if you don't have that, if you don't understand what that is, you're never going to hit the ball your potential distance. I don't care what you do with your body. I don't care what you do. That's the first and most important task and skill. So let's look at relevance. So we're tossing here. If I take this, if I were to hold it up here, it'd be the same thing. But I'm down here. But it's the same toss. So now what we're going to do is we're going to start to integrate or start to bring in how your body moves. So now we're going away from just tossing the ball. Now we're going to start to move our body. So now we start to toss. So what's happening here is I step, and then I throw. I step, and then I throw. I step, and then I throw. Now, I'm doing it both right-handed and left-handed. You don't necessarily have to do that. I grew up doing a lot of things both directions, so I'm decent with this side. If you want to just do your right, it's okay. But see, you step, throw. Step, throw. Now you don't, this is going to be just instinct for you. When I get people just stepping and throwing, step, throw. step, step, throw, step, step, throw, step, step, throw. That's a huge deal in your golf swing because one of the hardest things to teach in golf is what they call transition, kinematic sequence. Okay, well, when I hit a golf ball, it should be step, step, throw, step, step, throw, step, step, throw. You already know how to do it. So when they say transition is hard, the reason it's hard is because you're not stepping. Step, step, throw, step, step, throw. All of a sudden they say step, step, throw, but don't step. So you start becoming upper body oriented. So you lose the kinematic sequence of that move right there. Step, step, throw, step, step, throw, step, step, hit, step, step, hit. So all we're doing is we're reigniting that instinct. So now we've got step, step, throw. Now we're going to go from step, step, throw. We're going to go step, step, hit. Step, step, hit. So when we're moving our feet, because you don't want to start by static feet. One of the worst things in golf is you try to learn how to move your body with your feet not moving. That assumes an extreme high level of what they call proprioception. You have to understand and be able to feel where your joints are in space and time, and you got to be real sensitive to what's going on. Most people aren't. So as soon as you say, don't move your feet, and you want people to change directions correctly, you can't do it. So start with the step and take a club and then make swings and go step, step, hit. Step, step, hit. No ball, just get a feeling with how you'd make that transition with a club in your hand. If you're enjoying this session and want to take your swing to the next level, I've put together something special. It's called 21 Days to Your Best Golf Swing. That's 21 focused sessions to improve your swing like never before for only $21. I'll guide you step by step through focused drills and practice routines. You also get a downloadable progress tracker to keep you on pace. Guaranteed or your money back. You can get started today for just $21 at malaskagolf.com/21 days. All right, so the second thing I learned, so the first thing I learned as a kid is how to throw. So you start to learn how to lever system, how this works, and you start to learn how your body moves. Now, the next thing is my dad put a tire in my backyard, an old car tire on a tree, where I could practice hitting the tire. And I started doing this when I was about 6 or 7 years old. So I've got a cocoa mat here, and I just wound some tape around it, so it's about where I can swing it at shoulder, chest height. So all you're going to do is you come out here, and you just practice hitting, and you want to hit at chest high first. Now that's what I practice. So I practice here, and then I'd go down a little lower, and then I'd go down a little lower. Here's what this teaches you. All of this stuff about shallow the club and all this, I don't know, I'm trying to find a word here. All this explanation of what you do instinctively. See, when you take a bat, it goes from vertical. You take the bat back, you step, and then what does the bat do? It shallows out. Because there's no way you're going to take a bat from here and take it from here down into that. So the bat's up here, and it has to get down on the same plane as the ball. So this practice, just hitting something, I spent hundreds of hours hitting that tire. And then I had different dots in the tire. So I'd go low dot, high dot. So I learned how to direct the momentum of the bat into the ball. I also learned when you hit something like that, your arms line up correctly. Your body also goes step, push out of the way, and hit. I've never seen anybody who measures out to hit something and then goes like this up into it and tries to hit this way. So instinctively, you already know how to move away from the ball. You know how to hit it. You know how to line your arms up. It's an instinct. You shouldn't have to relearn it. I didn't have to. I came to this game, and that was so easy for me to do. And when I did that with a golf club, I could line my arm up, and I could compress the heck out of a ball right out of the chute. So this is the next most important task or skill for you to work on. So now we're going to go relative to a golf club. Well, okay, well, if I put a golf club on a baseball bat, and I said, okay, I'm going to hit. All right, so Boom. Now, if I took that and I just moved it down here, it would be exactly the same move. So I'm going to turn this way. So my golf club, baseball bat, goes from vertical, I step, I hit. A golf swing's down here, and basically you go step and hit. It's the same alignments. It's just on a tilted axis. Your body moves, everything's the same. Grip's a little bit different, but most of it is the same. Play into your instincts. This game's going to get so much easier. It's incredible. So we got to talk about grip here for a minute. So how do we put together a golf grip? Well, basically, if you hold the bat in just your left hand and you went back like this and you hit with just your left hand, I've never seen anybody that tries to bow their left wrist and hit it this way. I mean, that's going to break your wrist. So the instinct here is this is a lever, but it hits like this. Okay? Now, your right hand is a little different than baseball. In baseball, left palm down, right palm up, and we hit this way. Now, I actually started with that grip in golf, and I didn't hit big hooks. Why? Because I hit the ball, and when I released the club, I released it like a baseball swing. I didn't twist. But this hand's going to change in golf. So what it's going to change to is this becomes more of a throw. So this is like playing tennis. We're going to talk about that. So it's this kind of motion here. So this is a hit. This is a throw. You put those two together, hit and throw, and all of a sudden, all the joints start to do what they're designed to do. So now we're going to take a golf club. Now, if I put the face where I want it and I take my grip here, okay, there's the hit. See, the face is square. Then I put my right hand on and go this way, so it's the throw action. So now I have left hit, right throw. And you've got it. That's the hand action. Okay, so now we're going to use that same hit, but we're going to start to focus your directing of momentum. And we're also, with all of this that we're doing, if you notice, everything I've done so far, I have this step, step, swing. Step, step, swing. Now, I'm just barely ticking the top of that. If there was a ball on top of there, which we'll talk about in a minute, I could take this bat, and I know how to level this out to make feel the weight of this get into the right arc to be able to swing and hit the top of that stick. Okay, so step, step, boom, just nicked it. I'm going to hit a little more of it. I'm going to hit a little more of it. I'm going to hit a little more of it. So I could take a ball and hit the middle of the ball, the top of the ball, because I've learned how to take the momentum of the bat from here and direct it into the arc I need to have it run into that. So take a bat and just hit something. So let me show you this face on. So we take the bat and we put it here. Now we're going to level. So we go step, step, swing, and we get the bat on the right arc. See, that just barely ticked it. That ticked it a little bit more. That hit a little bit more. So I could do this right or left-handed. Missed the top of it, just ticked it, hit a little bit more of it. So I could hit a ball on a tee, and I could hit different parts of the ball because I've learned how to direct the momentum of this into the right arc to run it into the ball. That's instinct. I had that before I ever came to golf. So if I was going to take a golf club and do this, I'd obviously start with my grip in the face where it's supposed to be. And then I'd go, okay, we're going to swing a golf club. We're going to miss the top. We're going to tick it. We're going to hit a little bit more of it. So it's the same thing. You're directing the momentum of this to make it go in the right arc. Now, when I direct the momentum of this as a baseball bat, it goes from vertical. It doesn't go from vertical to the ball. It goes from vertical till it drops onto the right arc to hit the ball. That's instinct. All this, get up here and do this and turn and go, you shouldn't have to train that. That's instinct in every sport you've ever played. So when it comes to shallowing out, that's a big thing right now. If you've already done this instinctively, you've done it correctly, you know how to do it. Now, the reason most people don't shallow correctly is because the timing of the change of directions is off. So you try to change directions with your upper body. What does that do? That makes the club steep. If I all of a sudden change directions correctly, then all of this makes the club do it automatically. So now you're just artistically directing the momentum of the club. You're not sitting here trying to force the club to do something. You shouldn't have to force it. It should be instinctive. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next step. I basically learned ping pong and tennis next. So we're going to talk about tennis here for a minute. So this is called a rebounder. It's called the iCoach. Billie Jean King puts it out. It's phenomenal. And I would encourage all of you, whether you're tennis players or golfers, to get one because of what it does for your hand-eye coordination. So when I started out with tennis, we'd basically take a tennis racket and you just bounce the ball and hit it. So you learned how to run the racket into the center of the ball. So we weren't running around doing all that. We just bounced the ball, hit it. Now, if you watch what happens with this racket, my instinct to hit this ball is not to go like this and hit this way. So because the ball's up there, I take the racket back, and what does the racket do? It shallows out. Why does it shallow out? Because it shallows out to the arc that it needs to go to run straight into the ball. Now in tennis, you've got to get it to come below the ball so you can hit up on the ball so you can put topspin on it. But this whole tennis thing, I started with just hitting a ball. So I would bounce a ball, hit it. I didn't step much. And then all of a sudden, I timed that step. So we're right back into the step, step, hit, step, step, hit, step, step, hit, step, step, hit. I do the same thing when I hit a backhand. So I started here, just hitting it. And then you go step, step, hit, step, step, hit, step, step, hit, two-handed, step, step, hit. So, but the thing here is tennis, when I played tennis, you're running all over the place. So you're going step, step, hit, and you're having to time all of those steps. See, nobody takes a tennis racket back and goes step and comes over the top and hits it. I haven't seen that. So instinctively, if you play tennis, you know how to route the racket or the club. Now, okay, we're going to go back to golf. So, I mean, it would be the same thing. I mean, now I got the golf club, the ball's up here. But what would I do? If it was tennis, see, I'm routing the club right there. So I can hit that ball right in the middle of this face with a golf club. The only difference is when I route the club, the ball's not here. Where's the ball? It's down there, but it's the same motion. It's momentum. It's instinct. You already know how to do this. Don't let these guys talk you into standing out there and having to do it. You know, tap into what you already know how to do. Here we are. Moved into a new house. I'm in my garage. Obviously, we're not all the way in, but I did find a space here, which most of you can find. And if you have a mat, this is a little grass area. All that is when the ball hits there, it doesn't bounce all over. And a nice net with a launch monitor, you basically have everything you need. So there's no excuse really anymore to not have access to being able to practice to get your golf swing better. So this is basically all I need. So we've come in here now. Why? Well, what we're going to do here, I've got that ball sitting there. Now I'm going to do the same thing. So it's still step, step, hit. But now what I'm going to do on this first one is I'm going to go step, step, hit, and I'm going to hit it to right field. So I hit it into the right side of the net. Then I'm going to take another one here, and I'm going to go step, step, hit, boom, and I hit it into center field. Now I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to go step, step, hit, boom, and I hit it into left field. Now I can stand there and swing this bat and hit any part of that ball I want to hit. And I can hit it left field, right field, center. I spent hundreds, thousands of hours doing this. Now when you watch that, the step, step, hit, what's the bat doing? It's automatically going from vertical and it's shallowing out and it's coming right down onto the arc it needs to be on to hit the ball. I can feel the momentum. Now that action in the bat happens because of the change of directions, and it's a natural motion to happen. Most all of you have that. So all of these people that are trying to teach people to shallow the club, that's not the problem. That's an effect of something else. Usually it's a grip or some issue, and it's change of directions. Because if I change directions correctly, step, step, boom, the bat is going to shallow out. So is the golf club. Now, I haven't hit any golf balls yet. I'm not going to yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to chip and putt first before I get into actually hitting shots. And when I start to hit shots, I'm going to hit shots with step, step, hit. I'm just going to go step, step, hit. And I'm playing back into my athleticism. Now, again, this is one of the biggest reasons golf has gotten difficult, or why it's always been difficult. They took away your athleticism. They assumed levels of control that you had that you couldn't do. So again, when I say don't step, but change directions correctly, that's really difficult for people. But if I say go step, step, boom, step, step, boom, and then I all of a sudden go step, step, boom, I step less, now I go step, step, boom, and then I go step, step, boom, all of a sudden, if we go from your normal instinct of step to hit something, we gradually soften it up, but your transition stays correct, so the club or the bat does what it's supposed to do. Okay, so when you change directions, the bat automatically does this. Now, if somebody stands there and they start making you make the bat do this and make the club do that, and you force it to do it, then it's a compensation. So something's wrong. Something's not happening relative to natural instincts and natural athleticism relative to hitting something. So if you don't fix the right things, if you don't actually fix the effect, or fix the cause, and you fix the effect, which is where our industry has gone with a lot of this. They don't really understand what is the cause. And they start fixing things that are effects, which makes it harder and harder for you to do it. This should start to make golf easier and easier if you go this way, because it's how the body learned athletic motion. Okay, so here's the other sport that I learned with ping pong. So what we're going to do here, and all this is face control. So we're going to start out just you can do this by yourself. So this is what do we have here? Well, we've got a face, and all we're trying to do is control the face. So I'm applying the face this way, this way, this way, this way, over here, over here, over here, over here. We'll go across, change hands. Okay, so you can get a ping pong paddle. Now, even if you don't do that, you can just bounce the ball on the paddle and turn the paddle around. Turn the ball around, go back and forth between the two paddles. Hand-eye coordination. I spent a ton of time just like this when I was a kid, maybe 7, 8 years old. We had a ping pong table and we put it back just like this, and I used to practice because I wanted to get pretty good at it. All right, so hand-eye coordination with a face. So I put top spin on it, hit it both hands. So this is something that you should do away from golf. And all it's doing is it's getting you back into face control. Face control and then kinematic sequence and how your body moves along with the face control is the game. So you got two controls of the game, your hands with the face and your feet with the ground. That's basically how I learned the game, instinctively, and I put it into golf. Now we're going to talk about swimming. Now, I swam a whole bunch when I was little. I mean, I don't even remember when I first learned to swim, but I was 3, 4, 5 years old. And I was a competitive swimmer all through high school, even the first year of college. So as I'm rehabbing, once the incisions healed, I'm back in the pool. So now what does swim do for you? Well, when you think about it, when you're swimming, okay, your arms are swinging in circles and your body's turning in another circle. So as you're swimming, you have to have your shoulder sockets have to be relaxed for your arms to get out of the water, okay? If I all of a sudden tighten my shoulder sockets up, I couldn't swim. You can't swim with your shoulders, okay? So you gotta be loose. So my arms, now when I go backstroke, it's the same thing. So what's happening? Well, your arms are swinging in one circle and your body's turning in another. So it's actually learning how to separate these body parts and then how do you put them together? And that whole swing thing, that whole backstroke, if I kept doing this and you watch what my body's doing, And then I all of a sudden did it right here. It's basically a golf swing. The same movement patterns, how you turn your arm, how you pull with your scapula, how you twist through the ball. I mean, a lot of that same thing happens in backstroke. Same thing with freestyle. So you're learning how to separate this movement from this one. That's critical, and you instinctively know how to do it. Just get in and swim and feel what it feels like and put that in your golf swing. So now I'm finally getting to where I'm going to start to play golf. So what do we start with? When I was a kid, I used to go to this little putt-putt. It's called the Arnold Palmer Putting Range. And it was a miniature golf course, 18 holes. And we'd go there, and we'd come back from baseball practice, and we'd go putt this little 18-hole golf course. You know, so I basically learned to play golf on a miniature golf course and hitting plastic balls around the neighborhood before I ever got on a golf course. So I'm going right back to that. So what I'm going to do here is I've got these balls with stripes on them. Now, all I'm going to work on to start out, I want center face hit, and I want the ball to roll. So what does that mean? I got the line lined up. My right arm's on the back of the shaft, line of compression, and all I'm going to do is make the ball roll. Now, it wasn't not whether I made the putt, it was whether the line rolled. So again, the same thing. Line it up, line of compression, make the ball roll. Line it up, line of compression, make the ball roll. Now that one was a little wobbly. But the first thing I'm going to work on is that putting to line this up just like we did with baseball. Now there's no body motion here, very little. But I'm trying to control the face and control the path to hit it in the center of the face, make the line roll. The next thing I'm going to do is a little bit of chipping, which again is my putting stroke with the ball in a little bit different position. And all I'm doing is I'm just making a stroke. Putting the center of the club face on the back of the ball, boom. But I'm just making, my body's not doing anything. Boom. Okay, so I'm going to spend probably the next week or so just putting and chipping. That's the first thing I'm going to introduce before I start hitting any kind of golf ball with any kind of swing. Athletically, I've triggered all those things. I'm going to do all those things I did. I'm going to throw the ball first every day. Then I'm going to throw and step. Then I'm going to baseball it. Then I'm going to tennis. So I'm doing those things first, then here, and then I'll start to introduce golf. It's exactly how I learned it. I'm going to do it again. If you do it this way, I'll promise you all these things you're looking for are going to show up because they are effects of athleticism. They're effects of athleticism. It is the cause for what you're trying to get. Okay? Everybody's got it backwards. They're going at the effect. Club's not working. What's the cause? Make the club work correctly. Well, why isn't it working right? So this is going to get me back the same way I got to golf the first time. Hi, I'm Mike Malaska with MalaskaGolf.com. How you process and set up a shot. So I'm back here, I see the shot I want to hit, I make a swing to get a feel for it, I walk up, set the club behind the ball. Now I'm going to duplicate the motion. I'm not having a conversation with myself. So I duplicate the motion, watch it. If I liked it, I play it again. If I don't, I fix, go on to the next shot. Go to MalaskaGolf.com. We can help you with your mental game also.